Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. Depends on when you decide to come visit and watch us. Talk about the 1970s. Oh my God, Hot Lips Houlihan was a hottie back in the day. A black comedy war film, MASH. You know that movie that there was a book before there was a movie. Now there's a TV series that went far longer than the actual Korean War. By the way, there's a large number of people that didn't even know we went to the Korean War if it wasn't for MASH. So take that for what it's worth. Today I will be here with Shadow, Omenau, and Mark. Justin's in chat. If he wants to jump in, he knows how to get here. If not, you do you, boo boo. All right. With that being said, how's everybody doing today?
Oh, so far so good. Kind of a sleepy day. So I came in. I spent way too much time talking to Legion of Myth last night. So
I can imagine.
Well, it was 1 o'clock. He's like, "Well, I gotta leave at midnight." I'm like, "Oh, okay." We both,
What show is he on?
He was on Shadows. We were talking along with Jack, and I'm not sure how much Jack liked hearing about contracting issues with the government, but but that was part of the thing of if you want to make real world. Actually, to be fair, the series of MASH sometimes did that too, where they're talking about plates and having to find those. That really does happen.
Oh man. All right. So I picked this movie just because this month, well, what's left of this month, we're going to be talking about reviewing war movies. We were soldiers last week. This week we're doing MASH, as I said, then Shadow and Mark and whoever else. Well, I think it's just Shadow and Mark need to make their choices for the last two movies of this month. But we're doing MASH today. I enjoyed this movie. I did not know the TV series was based on the movie when I first started watching it. I was a kid. It was reruns. When I was growing up, it was reruns. It came on like 10 o'clock in the evening. 10 o'clock.
It was like dinner time. What are you talking about? Well, I mean, it depends on when and where you watched it, but originally it was prime time. Then in syndication, for me at least, it was like right at dinner time, 4 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
I actually read all the paperback books long before the series had ended. I was only like 14, and wow, huge, not really changes, but things they had to leave out of the movie and the TV show because it would have ended up with damn near an X rating at the time.
I think what was the lineup? Like Cheers and the Bob Hart or whatever show.
Bob Newhart.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess it depends on which ones you're going for. And I don't know. Is by the time I came back from Germany, they had already done the final, so I hadn't been able to see it because we usually got to see stuff 6 months later in Germany. And then the other part is that they had, come back to the U.S. They had the spinoff of the MASH series.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
one, After MASH or
After MASH.
That was garbage.
So
it was a nice try, but
without Alan Alda or any of the other actors,
the guy who played Honeycutt.
They had the bottom of the barrel. Even having Loretta Swit, no offense, who I actually met once upon a time. It's just.
But okay, I'm going to have to say this. Is it just me, or every time I watched Radar, all I could think was Legion of Myth?
No, you're not wrong. I was thinking that because I just watched the movie this morning,
and
I was hanging out with Max last night as well. And again, thanks, Max, for watching, which I seriously doubt your show's still going. Thanks for showing up and hanging out with everybody. Jackie had a blast. But yeah, there is a bit of that. And it's funny for being the nicest character in the show. He was the most hated actor, behind the scenes, and the character was amazing. He was an amazing character, but the TV show kind of ruined it. After a few years, he became weaker and weaker and weaker. In the movie, and the timing of the lines where he would know what everybody else was going to say before they said it, and all that good stuff. Only to, and I don't know if you noticed, he was the one who put the microphone under Houlihan's bed. I mean, that's I don't know if somebody put him up to it or
Well, they're all waiting. They were all waiting, so they knew. But no, I agree with you. I looked at it. I remember years ago because I'd watched the MASH series when I was a kid, and all of a sudden, and when I watched the movie, I went because when I watched the TV show, like, why did they call him Radar? And you find out, for the movie, like, why didn't they just do that? And that's really my guess.
So they kind of did some of it. Just they couldn't do it as much with the limited time. And I guess I don't know. It's just they just didn't lean into it like they did in the movie.
Well, and to be fair, they only really did it for the Colonel. They didn't do it for anybody else whenever he was talking. But that's what gets me about it is there was so much more you could have done with that character, and they just kind of just said, "Oh, okay, he's just there." And like, all right, that's fine.
There was a lot of stuff going on during the film. Sorry, Connell.
It's all right.
You got to butt in. My parents do.
Yeah.
The movie, I mean, you can in some ways, and you can't compare the TV show to the movie to the TV show.
But it was the same actor.
Years, it was spot on.
Yeah, it was the same actor. That's what gets me about it.
But even the actors, like towards in the TV series, he was more innocent. And him in the movie, he wasn't so innocent. Like you said, he's the one who put the speaker underneath it. I don't think anybody put him up to it. I think he just voluntarily.
They were all in the communication room listening when he came back. They all knew.
Yeah.
He was just one of the guys. No. They do call him Radar a few times, especially near the end.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but whenever he's talking, he's only doing the stuff for the Colonel. About half a second
repetition.
Before. Yeah,
the precognitive.
I just think he knew. I mean, he could definitely go that route, but I honestly think he just knew the job better than the general.
Well, he ran the Colonel better.
No.
I mean, the Colonel.
In the TV show, he would always let people know the choppers are coming before anybody else could hear it.
I'm not saying I think he had very sensitive hearing. He
was fucking psychic. Get over it.
Yeah, well, that was the intention. Is he was kind of psychic. The other part is if you're the communications guy, which is what he was, you got to hear that on the radio before anyone else did. Anyway, but yeah, the whole point was that they called him Radar because he knew what someone was going to say before they said it. It was
they're just really intuitive. Anyway,
being psychic.
Yeah.
Not letting that one go there, Shadow. Is that the hill?
No, I mean that's my wheelhouse. So
yeah.
What I mean, obviously, there were so many great characters in this one. This one really did have. It's qualified. I think it's qualified enough to ask, who was your favorite character in the movie? I'll start with Mark because can't get him to stop talking.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I can't remember his name. It wasn't. It was the guy that the other doctor that bunked with Hawkeye and a Trapper.
Trapper John.
No, the Southern guy.
Oh, Duke Forrester.
Duke Forrester.
Yeah. I kind of like him.
Name, right? I mean, I want to make a Ranger named that.
That was
Tom
Scarlett.
Yeah. We'll be watching later on this year. He's in another movie we'll most likely be watching later on this next year.
Alien?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Father Security Chief Odo.
Oh, yes.
Okay, he was one of my favorite characters as well, especially in the TV show.
No, it's just in the movie.
Look. Yeah, he was in Benson, okay? That's where I always remembered him from.
Yeah.
He'll always be Odo to me.
I know. Under all the makeup, but I just thought it was funny. But he was so well known for Benson, he kind of disappeared for a few years, and then came back as Odo because he had all the makeup, so they didn't recognize him as much.
No. Those there's something about that face that
only Mother could love.
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Well, that was Justin and Mark. What about you there, Shadow? Who did you like?
Oh, Hawkeye. Easy. Even in the TV show, despite the way Alan
wrote the last seasons.
Well, the way he freaking let it all go to his head, I'm going to say, and even today, he's still, a likable guy, until he starts really spouting certain nonsensical bull crap. But he was just, he had like the most heart. He was, just a really nice guy who just, making the best of a really crappy situation. But between the thing with Painless Pole, organizing that whole thing, even having his girlfriend who was leaving go do Painless, to sort of cure Painless instead of spending the night with him.
Well,
I
I have a pure heart. I like to think that they just tricked him into it, and
Right.
nothing actually happened because I'm a pure and innocent soul.
Sure, Jackie will appreciate that. Not only that, but with the young Korean kid trying to get him out of the service, because they gave him the amphetamines, which was only implied, but they gave him amphetamines so that he wouldn't get drafted into the service, all kinds of things like that. He was just, of course you're supposed to like him, and so I failed my saving throw on that one.
All right. What about you, Omino?
Radar.
Radar.
Because
I'm
he was the one that
going-
really did not. I mean, as much as you have to go around the military, something. Yeah, this and all the sexual harassment and all the other crap. I'm like, yeah, no, don't shit where you sleep. But go ahead. So, I mean, I liked Radar. Was my favorite character in there.
Okay, I'm gonna get. You're all gonna say what the fuck. I like Burns
Okay.
only because I knew somebody that he means well. He means well. It was just but I
It's
think
funny. Jackie and you would actually agree on this. I think we all know that though.
Mm.
I don't know. Once again, we're gonna be. I have a feeling today we're gonna be hopping between the show and the movie, which is fine. It is what it is. I think I like. I think the problem is I like Robert Duvall. I love the movies he's done, and him
Especially
playing.
Deliverance, right?
I liked him. What movie was it?
He was Colonel. He was he was the Mad Colonel. It says I love smell. The smell of napalm.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
But he was also the great Santini, which he wasn't so great in that movie.
I liked him in Gone 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage. He's a couple Western movies he's done. Yeah, I just like him as an actor. But no, but going back to Burns, even the guy who played him in a TV series, which was supposed to be one of the sweetest people
Larry
on.
Linville? Yeah, my dad used to work with him.
Used to be one of the sweetest guys on the set. The character was never allowed to grow.
Well,
So-
I mean,
Didn't he get shot and sent home?
No, well, in the show, in the movie, he went crazy and they sent his ass home.
no, he didn't go crazy. He was egged on, and that's when they called him crazy for that. If you
Oh,
actually
Yeah.
remember, Don Southern was going over saying all the stuff in there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would come over that table too. That's,
Yep.
I mean, he knew it, and that's when they said, "Oh my God, he's going through this." But I also love on how Radar would go over and talk to. He's like, well, he's telling him a point of anatomy there. It just
When he's talking, talking to Blake, Henry Blake.
yeah,
Henry
yeah.
Blake, Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake from Indiana. But he went to college in Bloomington, Illinois.
Yeah,
But
hey,
no,
did anybody notice that when Blake didn't have his glasses on, he looked like he was related to Ferris Bueller's best friend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're
Yeah.
right. I thought he
I
was
was like-
very familiar.
I wonder. I meant to look it up, but I just didn't have the time. Jackie's got believe it or not, Jackie's got a D&D game here at the house with like 7 kids. So
Are you gonna have to feed
Roger
them?
Bowen.
Are you gonna feed them?
pizza, lots of pizza.
Pizza. and soft drinks. That's what every growing D&D game or whatever RPG game needs. Pizza and soda.
So what I used to do is we used to have leftovers, and I used to have this friend by the name of Jason, and he would just come in, and my mother loved it because he would get rid of all of our leftovers. So because
that's what I feed the boys anyways.
So we would, none of us wanted leftovers. So yep, he came in like, oh, look what's here. Like, oh, cool. I don't have to have leftovers. Like, where were you for Thanksgiving?
All right. We did the characters. Now, do you think any of the actors in this movie did I don't want to say better job, but really shined in this movie for the 5 seconds they got on screen, or if they were part of the lead?
You know what? I'm going to mention. I don't even remember her name. It was the black receptionist in Japan, where he decides to go out. He decides to do like the fencing thing towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like her for just the way that she composed herself. You know, so it was.
I thought the kid that freak, what was his name?
Yo-san or something like that.
No, not the Asian kid. The young like doctor that Burns
yelled at.
Yeah, Burns yelled at and said, "You killed this guy."
Wasn't he also the one in the Jeep? And that girl said, "Where I go, he goes."
Yes, I think so.
Yes,
he was a really cute nurse.
Now, was he a doctor or was he something else? Because it sounds like, well, let me go get one of someone else, and then Burns yells at him because it sounded like he wasn't even supposed to be a medical.
I think he was just like a staffer or some kind.
Yeah, that was my kind of.
Yeah,
feeling.
he actually went on to do a lot of stuff, very nerdy stuff. But I've seen his face in a lot of TV shows at the very least.
Yeah, I don't.
So what in particular did you like about him?
He that scene, he was very like he acted in that scene, like there was like you could see the panic and emotion more than everyone else was just goofing off, right?
Yes,
there was actual like talent there.
All right. What about you? Now, did you already answer this question?
I thought I did. I said I liked Radar a lot. That was
the actor,
the nurse.
No. Yeah, I was saying that the black
nurse. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know what her name was, but she's probably like nurse number whatever or something.
Right.
I'll look it up.
Mark.
I'm
not sure. Were we kind of looking for just a secondary actor that we like a lot, or I mean,
just whoever. I mean,
more like bit actors, the ones nobody else would notice.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Come back to me, or I can't think of one right now.
All right, that's fine. It's kind of a weird question. Shadow.
Honestly, this movie is so full of great bit actors, and the movie wouldn't have made it without some of these absolutely phenomenal individuals. I was looking at the cast. I saw that Sylvester Stallone was in it, and I was looking and watching. I'm like, where, when? Leslie Nielsen was in it. When, where? It's just, this movie is like just.
I think you're thinking of the TV show there, because I'm looking at the kids.
Nope. I don't know what site it was, but that's what I found. I mean, there were.
So it was Monica Peterson is her name. That's that's who the.
There's like 40 people in this movie who then went on to do great things, and during this time, usually they would have gotten. I mean, I don't know. It was still pretty young in Hollywood's history, but this movie's it's got it all.
Apparently, Monica Peterson is still alive. Very good for her. That put her. Monica.
The receptionist.
The receptionist. She's still alive.
I just found out when you said it.
Yeah, I found her. So no, I mean that's good. Well, at least they had a picture of her. If they hadn't had a picture, I would never found her.
Yeah, that's what got for me too. and it's from that scene too.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Now this movie has a lot of people going through it. I don't know. You're probably right. I'm not gonna argue the point over this because A, you're probably right, and B, I just, no offense, don't care enough.
There were probably stringers in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know, like, Patrick Swayze made a guest appearance in the show. The show had a lot of people come through it.
Well, and a lot of those actors, they would come through stuff like Love Boat or whatever else. That was in that
Yeah.
So, and some of
Andy
them would play
Griffith
multiple
Show.
characters. Some of them would play the same characters. You know, they play like four.
Yeah,
different
like
characters.
Harry Morgan was in. He played two different characters.
Yeah.
The guy who would later go to play Sherman Potter played an absolute asshole.
Who I think also got carted off to the nut house. Yeah, the only guy that I wish that was in the movie that was in the movie that was in the TV series. No, this doesn't count as my pick. Just the guy who worked with the CIA. That guy was a freaking fruit.
Oh, American Flag, or not American Flag, but
Flag or whatever his hell name was.
Yeah, that guy was great.
But no, who do I like? There's a lot of the big role characters are all great. I like Paul. I like the doctor who played Paul. I thought he was, for acting wise, you know,
The dentist.
the dentist. Yeah, I mean the whole theme song. The whole theme song for the TV series basically came from that scene when they're saying suicide was painless.
Well,
Right.
that was the opening song of the movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this song is Robert Altman was tasked with writing the song, and he wanted to write the stupidest lyrics he could possibly think of, and his 45-year-old brain couldn't do it. So he had his 14-year-old son, Mike, write the lyrics to the song, and the whole world just thought, oh my God, this is so profound. This is so, and it was all just teenage angst bullshit.
It gets better than that. His son earned more money from the residuals on the song than he did for directing the movie. So,
I mean, in some ways, the song is a character to itself.
yes.
When I was in high school, I was in a band, high school through college, and we actually played that song like once. It took us weeks to learn it, and we played it once, and nobody knew what the hell it was because it was during the 80s, and enough time had gone by, especially at the college frat houses. Nobody
must have been the late 80s because the show was still on in 83.
Right, but the lyrics had been forgotten. They were never on the TV show. They weren't going to have it on network TV.
So I mean, I was, we were watching it. I don't even remember the songs. So I was watching the songs, and I'm used to the score, but not with the lyrics. And I went, there's a reason that this was never allowed on.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the song. It just Shadow said, it was teenage angsty.
Well, that was the point of it. Is when they're doing it. I don't know if you all noticed. Is when they're doing the scene. Did it remind you of Da Vinci's Last Supper? As they're all
it was meant to. It was meant to.
Yeah. Well, it was literally everyone was in that pose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
although I
did a
give
double.
it to Johnny Mandel when he sang it, did the thing that was, it was awesome. As goofy as it was, like that song would literally be you'd have two people who knew that song because there was a singer and I think the violinist. The odds of that were just non-existent.
I mean, the song by itself, with everything you guys said, I think I learned the lyrics to the song when I was in high school just to be that kind of nerd, I guess. I don't know why. And I will sit there and hum it every so often. And even today, you'd be amazed how many people will start to, either hum it because they know it or actually sing the lyrics.
Well, that's why it made so much money. Is because the Americans are idiots and they took it, as being something, so profound, and yet it that was not the point at all, and everybody missed it.
Mm.
Well, this went on for syndication for so long. I'm sure it's still on
13
syndication.
years.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still in syndication right now.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, but
It-
it's on these oddball channels. It's not like on Fox or anything else anymore. It's like
well,
on
that's all there is.
Comet or it's on Comet, it's on Hulu.
Pluto, stuff like that. Well, yeah, because most TV stations don't do that anymore.
Well, I
They
don't
really-
know. I don't know. I don't watch TV, but a
Exactly.
lot of it. But a lot
Yeah.
of it was on Nickelodeon, like After Dark, where they started showing all the '70s shows, like Laverne and Shirley, MASH,
Gets
all these other
smarter.
stuff. So yeah, it's so they would have a lot of that. So that's why I'm always like, okay,
It's on Amazon.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, I
What
probably
the
need to go
fuck?
back. What was it? The last episode of MASH in the series was the most watched episode ever.
Yeah, it's funny. I did not see that episode until 10 years later. I just happened to be at someone's house doing something, and it came on, and I'm like, oh wow, I had stopped watching like regularly, so I missed it. It was like a big deal when the last episode came on. I mean, like everybody was glued to the set that night except me and a few of my hooligan friends.
Mhm.
The last episode was freaking rough all the way around. It was good. It was just rough. Anyways, okay, let's go back to Shadow. What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Well, besides the shower scene, honestly, the end. I had forgotten how it ended. It's been a couple of decades since I seen it. Yeah, wow. And I forgot how it ended, and the fact that they got to go home was something we all waited 10 years for, during the regular TV show, and yet all we had to do was just go back and watch the movie.
Did they all go home? I think
No,
no.
Just the two that arrived at the beginning, Hawkeye
Yeah.
and Forrest.
yeah. Was it forced? Yeah, it was forced.
Well,
Yeah.
part of me also looked at it. It's like, okay, I'm like, you're only there for 6 months, because that was part of it. But no, actually, I thought you were referring to the fact that how they would keep doing everything about the movie, and that's what they did for the end. Is where they sat there and said, "MASH about a bunch of zany doctors."
Yeah, that part was actually really good too, because the guy on the not the intercom,
the speaker, yeah.
He even he had like a growth arc throughout the story. He started being unable to get a sentence out properly, and then at the end he actually was able to do it perfect.
Yeah, list off, and he listed off the credits too. I liked that.
Yeah. All right.
Which is something that had never been done before. Sorry.
Gotcha. That's
I
fair.
don't think it's been done since.
I'm not sure they're allowed to in certain cases. The same thing that like George Lucas got kicked out of the Directors Guild for he quit the Directors Guild because he didn't put all of the marquees and stuff before the movie. He just started the movie.
Yeah. And I also think he got sanctioned for having a dual credit on director or something like that.
You know what? At that point, he didn't care. He got his money. But anyway, so what was your favorite scene there, Justin? Since
I was going to ask Mark, but that works too.
It's hard to say. I liked when they brought the baby into the hospital. That was good. I won't say it's my favorite. Come back to me on this one.
All right. Well, I'll go back to Mark. Mark, do you first have a favorite side bit character? Because I don't think you ever answered that one. And do you have a scene that you really enjoyed?
Side bit character I can't really think of other than maybe the I guess the voice because it was over the loudspeaker. I don't think you ever see the guy behind the voice in the show, do you? So
No, Nelson.
Even if
um,
you did, you don't know who the hell it was.
right. So yeah, we'll go with that for the side character, and then favorite scene. I don't know. Probably just the whole build up when they're going to Japan and stuff like that. They're all strung worked up about being able to go golf when they're in Japan. Thought that was kind of funny.
Hmm.
And when they came back, they came back and they went right to the operating room. They still had all their golf clothes on and stuff. I thought that was kind of amusing too.
That's good. I get that. That's interesting. I'm going to answer, then I'll get to you, Justin. I think my favorite scene in this is when Frank and Hawkeye are in the tent, and Henry and Hawkeye Radar on the outside, and it's not exactly what Hawkeye and Burns are doing to each other. Is just the line that just Radar lying his freaking ass off because he knows what they're saying,
He didn't lie. He was just
rewarding it.
yeah, but that's not really lying. He says, "What are they saying?" He wasn't doing a word for word translation. He was. That's what I thought. He did say, well, they're talking about a point of anatomy, that kind of stuff. It was, which yes.
Then you got Trappers like, watch it, Hawkeye. He's a madman.
I'll be fair. That's my favorite scene too. Is going through there. It's oh look, they're sitting together. This can only be good. Oh no. That was, but yeah, I liked Radar for doing that part in there, and when Burge is coming in there and like, yep, he's setting him off, and so yeah, that was, and I'm kind of glad. I hate saying it is. Yeah, I know exactly what Burns was. That Burns kind of did the right thing. That going over, but they wanted him gone because he was a bad doctor. That's the problem. He was a bad surgeon, a bad doctor, and
he was killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Right at the beginning, right after they're done the opening scenes, and Hawkeye puts his duffel on the Jeep, and he's just fiddling with a rank badge or something, and the motor pool guy comes up to him and starts giving him a what for, and then he's like, what, and then the guy walks away and he goes, racist.
Yeah.
I was actually expecting Connell's
leaving.
favorite scene. I was expecting Connell's favorite scene to be when Trapper John pulls out the olives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was funny too.
I was like, that's got to be Connell's favorite scene.
Yeah.
But
I
only like that scene that I like is because you couldn't do that today. You could not do that scene today.
Well, I don't know. You're talking about which one? You're talking about the
The one right at the beginning.
You know what? Everyone says that, but they said the same thing about Blazing Saddles at the time. You just have to have someone do it. Well, even Quentin Tarantino's doing Reservoir Dogs.
Johnny was
but
Robert Downey
that's
Jr.
still
did
2
Tropical
decades ago.
Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
That's still over a decade ago.
Well, no. My point being is that everyone says you can't do these scenes, and then someone does them. They're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that." The big thing is just getting a producer to allow it to happen.
And I don't think you could do that today.
You could. It would have to be an indie film.
Oh God!
Wow.
The olive scene.
Indie
I'm
film.
trying to remember the olive scene.
Well, the
When
olive
the
scene is
Trapper
they're all
pulls
sitting
out
there,
the
they're all
olive-
talking about martini,
and he
says,
pulls out the jar of olives and drops the olive into the,
Oh, him make, I get. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like a dirty martini. I get that. It's just there was a lot going on in this movie, so if I don't remember everything, I am.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, you fast forward through a half hour of the movie, so
Hey, we're about ready to talk about that.
What, the football scene?
Yes.
I could have skipped it.
Well, how in the world do they allow Spear Checker Jones? You know, that sounds like something that they royal in
Good
England
I
job
love
would
the
today.
say.
fact that Sir Chucker Jones makes an appearance in the TV series as well.
Yeah, but no, what I love about it is that that's only something you would expect from you know, a royal in England.
Yeah.
What? Spirit checker? No. I can
Oh
see-
yes, yes. If did you ever hear about was it who was the Queen's husband? It's like, do you still
Prince,
throw spears?
Philip?
Yeah, Prince Philip. Did you hear what he? Go look up his gaffes on what he said and what. Yeah, it was during. It was that's what he said to one of the African nations. Literally.
I know he was a little bit of a bigot. I just didn't know how bad.
Oh, go read it.
No,
He actually
just-
said that to like one of the leaders of one of the African nations. Oh yeah, do you still
still-
check spears? It's like, oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
you
fair
got
question.
to also give it up to the actor. You know, when someone asked him, you know, if they could call him that, and he was like, you couldn't see any like, you know, hatred or anger behind his eyes as he was, you know, saying, yeah, you call me whatever you want.
Well, the other part was, why did they call you that? He says, because I was a javelin thrower. So yeah, I
I
mean,
wouldn't have answered that way. I would have leaned into it.
Oh God. I mean, all the other names, and I'm not going to say some of the other names.
Yeah.
I do kind of like my home here on YouTube for why I have here before we fully move over to Rumble. But some of the other more interesting names you could give somebody of any cultural background. But this was the 70s. I mean, people didn't particularly have their heads up their asses as much as they do now. I mean, Mel Brooks probably couldn't get a movie made now if
well, there's so
Mm.
much in there about. Well, we always say this stuff, and then all it
The
requires-
name for Father Mulcahy. You couldn't get away with that today.
Diego or
Diego.
Diego Red. Yeah.
Diego. But I'll say this much though: is when I was over in Afghanistan, we all got names, and they were all based off of
Oh,
food.
race. Oh, food.
So we just as jokes, you automatically get a nickname that you just don't expect. So one guy got called Skittles because he would always raid all of the MREs to get the Skittles out. You know, it was just little tiny things. Mashed potatoes, we called one guy.
What was your nickname?
Macaroni.
Macaroni?
Because they thought I was hitting on a nurse. And so he did that, and I thought that he was and we were in the chow line for like mac and cheese. You
You gotta give us the origin story all over again. You went out.
Oh, okay. Well,
you weren't here
cut
last
off at
week,
chow
Shadow.
line.
You weren't here last week, Shadow. I've decided every time the internet cuts out on Over Now, it's becoming a drinking game for this show.
oh, nice.
Well, I'll pull
Alcohol
down some.
poisoning for everyone. No, there's, or everyone's having 2% beer, at which point they'll just be buzzed. But no,
Or just take a piss.
Yeah.
But no, but one of the other guys, we vegetable lasagna is what we called one of our teammates because that's all she would eat because she was a vegetarian. And then another person, Chitlins was the one guy I called because he'd grown up in Mississippi and had never had it. I said, "How can you never have had it?" I've had it anyway. He called macaroni. He called me macaroni. I said, "Oh, really? All right, Chitlins." So he got that one. But yeah.
Nice.
So we did. So I forgot what everyone's name was. But yeah, you'll get names whether they're politically correct or not. I'm just gonna let you know, especially over in a war zone. That's how you can tell if someone's really, you know, if you don't have thick skin, you shouldn't be over in a war zone.
Or on the internet.
Yeah.
Or on,
well,
or on the internet these days.
how did the thing ever survive? You knew it was never online. They were just gonna call it mean names to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I've said this before. I don't know if I said it before on this channel, but I've said it on other channels. You can tell men friendships with each other is different than women friendships because we're just mean to each other. I mean, just mean. But we mean well. It's like I used to say, if I'm
It's
not
not
picking,
meanness.
Yeah. It's
I
not
mean,
mean.
it's one thing.
It's
I mean,
better if it's mean.
It's a
Good.
mean sounding name that's very affectionate. That's what it comes down to. Because you really don't like someone, you stop giving them names, and you just
You don't even, yeah.
you know.
And
Well, I
if there's
used to
any
say, if I'm not picking on you, that means I don't like you.
Yeah.
Yep. If you can't flip your
Um,
friend's shit, he's not your friend.
Yeah, but there's a difference between ribbing someone and being mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we know
Yeah.
we can sense it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
would
is.
not put.
We take it outside.
I would not put D. You know, if you guys came over, I wouldn't put D4s all over my kitchen floor because I didn't like you because I was afraid you're after my yogurt. So
Hey man, don't touch
Only
no
if it's
man's
Greek.
yogurt.
If it's not Greek, then you can just keep that yogurt. No, I'm sorry.
anyway, so going back. All right, Shadow, what was your least favorite scene in the movie?
Honestly, I know, mind you, this could be because of the times, but when Hawkeye figured out who Trapper John was, that it just seemed so fake. The acting and the whole bit. I was like, it just seemed so forced, and it's like they didn't even need to do that. That I recognize you from somewhere. You know what the odds were of that? I mean, other than the football players who had been on TV and millions of people had seen them. It just
Well, if you're going to the Ivy Leagues, which I kind of got the feeling they had gone to Ivy Leagues, it wouldn't be as unusual to actually play against that team. So, but I agree with you. It felt forced because they made it seem like this big point, and then it just got glossed over in like the very next scene. It's like, oh, I remember you, and they just talked a little bit about it, but it was kind of just felt rushed or something. Like that was.
I mean, you would think that I don't know. It just.
Well, I mean, they could have run the gag out or something, but they didn't. It didn't. Yeah,
everything in the movie was kind of rushed, though, right? Like it was.
It was a long movie. If you actually think about it, it was an hour and 55.
If you take out the 30 fucking minute football field football game, you could have got more character building.
Was it 30 minutes?
It was an hour and 55 minutes.
Yeah, I actually
liked no credits at the end. There were no
game.
credits at the end. I mean,
I actually liked it, but there was one other thing I really hated about this movie.
Yeah, sure.
They didn't realize back when I was younger. There were a lot of scenes where everybody, like this show, everybody was talking over each other, and you couldn't. It's like I had to strain to hear what was going on. Whereas, had they just toned that down a little bit, you would have got more of a sense of urgency in the operating room. But there's just, people. It was just almost like. Chaotic. I have no idea. I can't pull enough information to feel the tension. It was just noisy, and I guess they maybe did that on purpose. But from having maybe experienced something like that, or understood that there was just people just back and forth. But to be honest, it wouldn't have been so much like that because one misspoken word or wrong order or request for the right tool or the right anything could be disastrous.
Well, no, I agree with that. But if you look at, you had four doctors operating simultaneously. I mean, the trick is you have to pick out whose voice it is, and that's the only person you listen to.
It was very hard for me.
Yeah. I didn't bother me that much.
When it came to the credits, that's what the announcer was listing off at the end.
Yep.
But they're only the actors, not any of the film stuff. I guess that was all at the beginning, front loaded.
I guess I don't know. It's just different than what we usually see. I guess. It was. But when they ended it, there was no running credits after the end or anything else, which I was kind of surprised at. But I'll have to do this for Connell. Yes, the entire football scene was really. That could have been cut out. I thought it would have been fine. I mean, that was. I understand some of the mentality for that, but
they had to get the. I feel that they had to get the emotional level. Everybody on the edge of their seat. Otherwise, it would have just gone on and on and on with different sort of things. It sort of brought them to a high point that they could come down and end.
Well, to me, again, I don't like the football scene. It feels rushed. It takes up too much of the movie for one. Number two is, having been in a war zone, There's so much hilarious crap that goes on that you would think that grown ass men would not act like 3-year-olds, and yes, they do. I know, except I've been
that's the thing I was saying earlier. The books, even just the first book, there was so much in it that they could not use. Okay, we can talk about that later. That they had to. I mean, I'm surprised they even did the shower scene. You know, they had to have something to, you know, get them to, like, you know, kind of like the attack on the Death Star. You know, they had to have that you know, super high tension and you know, some sort of victory and.
But there was no tension in my view for that. Is I just don't like the football scene. This is probably good with Connell. It doesn't add that much. It's not that funny, to be honest. There's not that much humorous aspect to it. You know,
I don't know. Jabbing a guy with
place.
I don't find I don't find drugging
people
kind of
funny.
I didn't find drugging people that funny anyway. But I was like, okay,
I thought it was hysterical.
But no,
and the way that player kept, you know, thinking he was in different sport events, and then when he ran into the nurses,
yeah, that was the
the only funny part about it is him thinking he was on a track meet or biathlon or whatever.
It was 30 minutes of almost no laughter, nothing that I could. That's the problem I had with it. I was like, I don't care.
What are you talking about? Houlihan, you know, going from this, you know, rock hard freaking, you know, career military, going to the cheerleader and cheering for the dumbest wrong things. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
No. I did.
We got a red flag. Woo!
I didn't
You're
find it funny. I did not find it funny.
And Burns, you know, calling her all the different names, you know, nincompoop and stuff that, you know, just I don't know.
I did not find that funny at all. That's my whole thing. So to me, the if you cut the last half an hour, it would have been a much tighter film. Or if you put in some of the other stuff, you know, if you want to talk about other movies that are out there like Jarhead and stuff, which have, you know, just the sheer ridiculousness and things, I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, it's just
you know, you got to remember also that you know, Trapper was, you know, somewhat famous for football, and
okay, I understand. I said it doesn't make it a better movie. They could have cut it out and added a bunch more other stuff in there that was actually like dealt with the war, and I would have enjoyed it a lot more. You know, it's not with that is it would have cut the movie down.
Yeah,
a lot.
You could have had them all. You could have had them all preparing for the football game. Credits run, and then an after credits clip saying, "And they lost $5,000," and that would have been a lot funnier.
That would have been funny.
You know, the lead up to the football game, as you said, then right as the game is about ready to go in traditional MASH order, radar goes off. We have people coming, and there's no game, but there's a pretense of game. I think would have been more, I don't know, just better. I don't want to say better, but just.
This is the way I think about it. And to be fair, you know, we are looking at in the middle of Vietnam. I think it was to show the sheer ridiculousness of what went on with the upper echelons of officers and what they really cared about. He cared more about the football game than the actual war. And I think that
well, not to mention the time that the movie came out, football was a much bigger part of everybody's life. You know, everybody watched the game. I mean, that's just. Whether you liked it or not, you were watching whatever game was on.
I understand that because I've been overseas with the football games where they actually give the soldiers the next day off of the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying, it was the dichotomy was there to show the ridiculousness of
absolutely.
Of what the upper echelon colonels and generals cared about, not about the actual soldier in the war. That's what I was referring to. Anyway.
Maybe. I don't remember. I might have read the book. It's not hitting any of the
Yeah, I know I did not.
So Mark,
I still have them somewhere.
What would you have taken?
Because there was like half a dozen of them.
Or what scene did you?
I would have. taken out, I would have. Yeah, I'm probably in agreement with the whole bit with the football game at the end. I would have just tightened it up. And the part in the football game that got on my nerves was they kept doing the gag with the cheerleading gag and flipping back to Hot Lips Houlihan over again, and her like oblivious nonsense and stuff the whole time. It kind of wore out after a couple times of them doing it, but it seemed like they kept doing it over and over again. It kind of wore on me a little bit, but yeah, I would have just tightened that scene up a little bit, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or like her character after getting caught with burns and the tank coming down, or whatever? She was just completely different character.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, that was one. Well, the fact that who was it? I can never remember which one, but was it Scarrett? When he's like when they're knocking on it and he's trying to hide her, as he runs her out the back. That said is, it sounds terrible. It's a hilarious scene, but oh my God, I do feel sorry for the poor woman for all the stuff that she had to go for that, because that's never happened to any woman kind of thing. So yeah, I will say as much: the modern military is what they did is that they pretty much gave the women their own trailers, for taking showers, and those doors are locked, and for a reason. So,
Yeah. How many of us have? And this is a little bit off the movie, but it goes along with the movie. How many of us actually watched the TV series as well as the movie?
I watched bits and pieces of it. To be fair, I'm not
every night. It was on at the dinner table for years and years and years. We watched it.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, it was a pretty much seemed like it was a pretty much regular staple in our house for a lot of years. I think we might have got fatigued with it towards the end, but I do remember the whole build up to the final and watching the final episode of that. But yeah, it was a regular thing that was on.
No, it was right up there with Love Boat, MASH, Three's Company. There are a lot of staples that were out there that okay, this is what you watch, because there were only 3 stations and the weird UHF stuff. But there were only 3 main stations, and you sat there and watched them, and you went for whatever was on the best. That said, is not a huge fan of this 1970s comedies. Though, what was it? Police Squad was the only one.
Those movies were amazing.
Well, and they only did 6 episodes, and they said, "Well, there are too many gags." How would you say that anyway? And that was canceled after 6 episodes. But yeah. To me, it was pretty staple out there. I don't know about Justin, being up in the land of the frozen north. So, what Justin growing up as a kid, and I know you're a lot younger than the rest of us, because really, Mark,
Shadow, he's myself, about the same age as Connell.
Yeah.
Justin, how old are you, if I may ask?
38.
Oh yeah, he's about 2 years younger than me.
So I mean, there's a big difference there. Is we would actually, that was the staple that would happen every night, and it wasn't really into syndication until after, and then you got the syndication that always went to the UHF stations or whatever the independent stations after that.
My grandpa, we got it over in Ireland. My grandpa loved the shows. The last show I watched before I went to bed. So, and that was for years. Then when I moved back to the States, I just always watched it because I always felt like there was an episode I missed.
I hated it with an absolute passion and did everything I could to avoid it.
Oh, okay. So this question will not apply to you because you did not like the show, because there's nothing wrong with that, but there is.
It did not have enough ray guns.
Did not have enough ray guns. That's fair. So who do you think? All right. Who do you think played the better Radar? Radar or Radar? No, that's.
I will say Radar, good sir.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And that's all his career amounted to, which is really weird.
Well, you know what though, he was a.
Well, when you're a douche off screen, that's what happens.
Well, I'll be honest with it. It's very similar with Walter Koenig, though he did a great job with Bester. I don't remember anything else he was ever in other than Star Trek and Babylon 5.
Okay.
He did a lot of writing.
Being somewhat serious, not being serious, somewhat being serious about that. We had the movie, which was we just watched, and most of us watched the TV series, unless you're Justin, and just didn't have enough ray guns, I guess. Who do you think played a better Hawkeye, Donald Sutherland or Alan Alta?
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, with the hands down. There's no.
All of the characters here were so much better because they had the ability to be edgy and everything else. By the time you put it into network television, they sanitized the characters so much that you lost the things that either you loved or hated about them.
But the characters
It's like watching Stargate for me. I love the movie. I cannot watch a single episode of the TV show without just going, "What the hell?" Everything they made the characters, except Daniel Jackson, which was basically the same character. They didn't change one bit. The guy who
He
replaced
grew
him.
over the series. But
Well,
Yeah,
the other thing is,
I wouldn't know because I'll never watch it.
well,
Yeah.
I've heard that the series got really good in the later seasons.
It did.
I wasn't in there. It's just like poor Connell having to suffer through the first season of Babylon 5. You have to suffer before you get to the good episodes. And I haven't seen
enough.
those.
There's just not enough beer in my fridge. No, well, the reason why I asked was, 13 years of MASH. Most of the characters, a lot of the characters stuck around for all 13 years. A few of them left. But Hawkeye, the guy who played Hawkeye, Alan Alden, I think, is probably one of the better actors of his generation. Actors, personality, that's not for me to say. I don't know him. But
No, go ahead. Sorry,
to make the character grow.
Part of me goes through this much too, which is, people want to see the same thing. They were very episodic, unlike what was that one movie, Soap? Where they followed the stuff through. But there was that aspect. Part of me just, like I said, it lost a lot of its edge. A lot of stuff I didn't get when I was a kid, like Corporal Klinger.
Yeah.
I understand where, being older now, why he was doing that so much. But, it's like, why do they even let him do this crap, wandering around? I did like the part, actually. I did like the part in the movie where they're like, why does he get sent home, but we aren't able to? What do I have to do to get sent home? When they're talking about because they were drafted and Major Burns was a career, just like Houlihan. She was a career soldier. Though I actually did like, I will admit, in the movie, I did like the credit they gave to her. You're a damn, you're a pain in the ass, but you're a damn fine nurse.
They were always saying that about the character in the TV show as well. Just there was something about Loretta Swit. I just could not. I didn't understand what anybody saw in her. Something about that face was just like
the show or the movie.
The TV show.
TV show. Yeah, a lot of stuff I didn't understand. But I will say this much, and I will say this from hearing this from one civilian I knew, which I have a lot of respect for her too. She said, "Look, I'm honest. I'm a Chicago 5, but an Iraqi 10. When you go overseas, your ability."
Me, okay.
Oh, I hate saying this, is I was in Kuwait and I was waiting to go over to Iraq, and this lady comes in and she's wearing a blue sundress, and that shocked me more than if aliens had come down in their little space suits with the helmets, like the Mars Attack aliens. That was more alien for her wearing a sundress that was blue than an alien coming down. So when you're in a war zone, everyone starts looking a lot prettier, and the longer you're there, the prettier they get. So
fair enough. Oh no, I said this earlier. I love the guy the actor who played Burns in this movie, but I like TV show Burns better.
Well, I didn't understand a lot of it is just what a pain in the ass they had for some of them, because the TV show really smoothed out a lot of the hard edges. And, it wasn't like, like in this one, yes, Burns needed to go. Burns was incompetent and was killing people. It's like, yes, he needs to leave. and that's that I understand, but the rest of it was, yeah. And so that there was that aspect is,
and yeah, because almost every character got better in the TV show, like a lot better.
Yeah.
well, after 13 years, you'd hope so in a 3-year
No,
war.
I mean, they were better people.
Sure.
They were better skilled. Like even Burns was, top of his game in the show. There was none of that, at all. I mean, he may have been an asshat in the show, but there was never going to be an instance where they were going to say you're incompetent.
Right. Yeah, they didn't want to say, "Hey, look."
In the operating room, on anywhere else, clearly, but in the operating room, no way.
Yeah. Well, I do like the part, when they're talking about it, and he says, "Well, these are serious allegations, and I'm having a hard time believing them." And the colonel goes, "Then don't believe them, General." Click.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
or in the, after the shower scene when she runs in and is talking about everyone, and he's right there next to his nurse sleeping with her, and he's like, "Well, just resign your commission." I think people forget they can do that. For once you're a career officer, you can resign your commission, but
Yeah.
That wasn't going to happen.
No, because she was too dedicated to the.
oh yeah.
Well,
I don't think anything I want to. It kind of goes along with the last statement. Was there any scenes that you didn't like? And is there any scenes you did like? Now, the scene, I just don't, because the only person that seems to like the football scene is Shadow, and I don't.
I'm not even a football fan, guys, but I just understand why they did it.
I just felt like it was too jarring. Like it was too jarring for.
It was the 70s, and the movie would have only gotten darker by the minute. They had to throw some color and some.
No, they should have ended it.
The movie would have been what, barely over an hour then, right?
It would have been like an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes.
No, because
For
I
a
just
comedy, that's pretty good.
I just skimmed back. It's only the last 17 minutes of the movie that's actually
Oh, really?
a football game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just drags, right? It just really drags.
Well, you know what? I hate saying this. I know we talk about this for a lot of movies. Try to get kind of sappy or whatever at the end, and all of the great scenes at the beginning, and then at the end, it's kind of they just stop it. And I said, they always put some other thing at the end. I'm like, if you just cut it, it could have ended perfectly. I would have had my laughs and gone home. Instead, I just felt like it's always dragging. I know Shadow loves Scrooge, but honestly, the last 10 or 15 minutes, I just feel like it's dragging.
I agree with you there too. It's one of the better Christmas Carol adaptations, but it still drags.
I kind of want to ask, and I've asked this with other stuff. What would you have replaced it with?
Nothing.
Football scene. I don't know.
I would have probably done a football scene. All of a sudden, they hear that there's a giant, like Justin was saying, they have to immediately go in the ER as soon as they're finished, and then they would let them go home or something. Or I would have said
that.
Or I would have said Eisenhower has declared an armistice, and at that point, everyone could go home. I would have done something, because you could do that where they ended the war.
I would have done something different, actually, completely different. Where because Hawkeye was playing in the game as well. Maybe getting the news that Hawkeye and Scarrett get to go home, and someone would say, "But there's there's $5,000 on the line," and they would just like still leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
but I
say something. Screw this. I get to go home.
Well, but see, I like I said, I think a lot of it is where we have to remember a lot of this was during the Vietnam War, and so they kind of wanted, and it was still dragging on at the time. It was still dragging out at the time, and so this was while they said it in the Korean War, there were so many things really referencing the Vietnam War.
Yeah. The TV show was the same way. We all knew what was really going on.
Yeah.
They weren't talking about Korea because Korea was, so far back, not so far back, but far enough back to where it made more sense that the allegories that were going on were more in reference to Vietnam.
Well, the haircuts, the smoking of the marijuana, And they referenced, it was
as well as a couple other things, but
sure.
Yeah.
Overall, would you recommend this movie to a friend?
If they were over 60.
I will say as much as I was telling my son about it, and he was laughing, but I wasn't letting him see any of the episodes. Not that he really cares, because I watch it before he gets up in the morning. But would I recommend this? Yes, but I would also say, part of me goes, having been overseas, is like, oh my God, the fraternization with the nurses and everything else. You're just going, oh, the poor military discipline and stuff. Which was not my experience, to be fair. But and the part that did horrify me, which is absolutely hilarious, and it has to be in the movie, where she comes back screaming and yelling, and absolutely, you know what? People should have gotten court-martialed for it. I feel for you, I do. But if you took it out and you got everyone court-martialed, it wouldn't be funny. So, yeah. And then she, like Shav says, she completely changes after that. She's all pro whatever they're doing there. And what really got me was she could tell she was hated by the nurses. Remember when Radar comes out and gets the XO, hey, we need to do this, and gets him away. I'm not sure if you remember the XO, but he gets him away, and then all the nurses sit there, all sitting down, waiting to see what happens to.
They all had chairs.
Yeah.
In bathrobes, waiting for the thing to be over so they can go take their showers.
Yeah, but they all knew. They all knew.
They would have. If it had been anybody else, they would have put a stop to it.
Exactly, and that was one of those things that
she needed to be taken down a peg or whatever. I mean, clearly it was not okay, but shit happens in situations like that far worse.
I mean, she was despised by everyone on the camp apparently after that. And so,
except Burns.
Well, Burns was gone by then.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it was her only reinforcing sidekick, so she either had to adapt or leave as well.
Now that said, I will bring up one shower scene that did happen in Afghanistan. Is we had a big guy by the name of Brent, and he was showering, and one of the other guys thought it was funny and decided to give him a hug in the shower. Through the
Oh God.
Well, this guy's big like you, Connell. He was pretty big. Anyway, one of our teammates went in there just as a joke and decided. And of course, you had a shower curtain. Yeah, you had a shower curtain. So he just grabbed him real fast through the shower curtain and gave him a hug. And he said he screamed like a little girl.
Yeah. Well, if you're not expecting that in the shower.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you're expecting that shower.
Well, and they were both laughing at it, like a couple hours later. So you got to have a sense of humor in those war zones. You do. You just do. And people will screw with you. It doesn't matter. They will screw with you. Too bad we don't have a nerd's nerd. It would have been great to have her and talk about maybe her incidents over her experiences. Because I'm sure she has stories too.
I wouldn't ask. Her anonymity is paramount.
No. I mean, she could probably tell you just stories of what she heard or had seen. That's what I mean. I don't mean anything that happened to her, but so. But yeah, so. Secret topic. You know what though, Mac? I don't know if you ever, I know that you're former Marines, but you probably have stories about being overseas and the silliness that goes on ships and other stuff there.
I know a story, and I didn't serve, but this was from a group of guys I know from the sport I'm in. Two of the guys were in the same unit, and they all got some off-base time, and they went to certain clubs that grown men go to from time to time that Jack would
yes
not be approved of. and a couple of the guys came back with gonorrhea from the same person.
Oh, that happened way too often. I will say this much:
Gonorrhea.
ignoring the venereal disease, I also remember people talking about putting shaving cream in people's boots. I mean, just to entertain themselves, they would try screwing with each other because they get bored. I'm not saying everything has to be bad, but
Yeah, there was an episode of MASH where they did that.
Now didn't young Max come out as a Danny DeVito sexual last night?
I got nothing. I wasn't there last night. I was being behaved, and I went to bed early.
I don't remember at a certain time. I just remember us talking shop about the craziness of contracting and talking about if we were to play a Rifts game, and all of a sudden you had like real world contracting officers having to go there and tell them, look, you're only allowed to fire 12 mini missiles whenever you're in a life or death combat. You're like, what the hell, dude? He's like, nope, you only allowed 12 mini missiles this time. You're like, that crap does really happen. That's the sad fact of it.
If I die in the field, you're going with me.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Mac. I thought you did because I know that your sons did. So I just assumed you did as well.
All right. Well, I started this question. Mark, what about you? Would you show this movie to anybody?
Yeah, I would recommend it probably to a friend as an adult, but I would just say, it's kind of a product and a commentary on the time that it did come out. So take it for what it's worth. But it's got good acting, and it's a different type of film. It doesn't have like a real rigid plot or storyline. It just kind of seems like a lot of it was just like free form and ad libbed. A lot of parts of it to me.
Yeah, it was slice of life.
Yeah. I'll say this much: it's a great training video on what not to do for sexual harassment. Yes, you should watch this.
That'd be like saying Revenge of the Nerds is a good movie for how not to act in college.
Yeah.
Well, but that's college. We're talking about the military. This is what they should use as their training video. Sexual harassment. We would like you to look at just this little slice. This is not acceptable. The nurse is not allowed to sit in the officer's lap. I mean, really, you have to say okay. But yeah, would I recommend it? Yes, it's a good movie. It's definitely a black comedy. I think there's a lot of that aspect, but somehow I could just see this being used as reference in a Office Space movie on identifying, sexual harassment training. So,
Office Space.
Don't get me wrong, Mark. Don't get me wrong, Mark. I liked the movie Nerds as a young adult. But as you actually watch, because you normally just caught it on TV, I didn't actually watch the movie for the sake of the movie. When I saw it for the movie aspect of it, oh yeah, no, that whole house should be going to prison for multiple different reasons, and the King Nerd and that should be going to prison for rape.
Yeah, it's a rape film.
Yeah.
But back to more humorous things than that. Anyway, so Shadow and Mark, I need to know. You guys are the last two to pick for this month. Before we go into the Christmas cheer, or however many weeks that works out.
What the heck?
I need to know what military movies, or you think guys what would be your guys' pick.
Mark, what's your pick?
He's muted.
I'm gonna go with let's try that tank movie Fury.
Fury, that's a good one.
Never seen it, so that'll be good.
You might like it.
Oh,
I really don't hold my breath on what movies that Shadow will or will not like.
I think Shadow had two good versions. I know what I've heard, and so he'll get to either one is fine by me.
I'm going with I'm gonna do Omen is solid, and we're gonna watch Glory with Matthew Broderick and Denzel Washington.
Oh God, I haven't seen that movie since high school.
And I was gonna go with that or Patton, but since there's a good chance Jackie will be watching it with me, that's a movie he needs to see. The message, I guess, is something I think will benefit him. And if you guys haven't seen it,
if nothing else, just letting him watch the first 10 minutes, he gives the speech is great.
Oh
no.
yeah.
No, I was talking Glory.
Oh, Glory. I'm sorry. I was thinking for Patton. If just
For
think
Patton.
I wanted
yeah.
to see Patton as well. That's one of the greatest beginnings of a war movie ever. But I don't think I'm going to get 2 out of him.
I had this history teacher try to tell me that Patton never cussed. I'm like, okay.
Oh well, Patton did that in the movie, just not so much. Yeah, he was well known for doing that during the war.
There's a story I heard where he was showing a priest and somebody else where he slept, and the priest is like, "Do you read the Bible?" Because he had the Bible laying there, and he looked at the priest like every goddamn day. So, but yeah, all right. So we got Glory and we got Fury. Who want to go next? Don't speak up at once.
I can go next. That makes it a little bit better chance that Jackie will join us, but not a guarantee because it is his last day of Thanksgiving vacation. So we'll see.
That.
Okay, so let's see. It says it's free on YouTube.
I think I've seen it on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm looking over at it right now, and I think it includes the commercials, but it says free with ads on YouTube. So that makes it really good for the rest of us.
Drop it in the group then.
Yeah, let's.
All right. I'm actually kind of now, Justin. You said you're going to hold off for this month.
Yeah, you're already spilling off into the next one, so
when you have 6 people.
Yeah.
And only 4 weeks in a month, it tends to happen. That's why
Bo won't be coming back for a while then?
Bo won't be coming back until I felt like Bo won't be able to make it back until like the end of December because Christmas and it's just busy.
Well, no, his scheduling has changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and he may be getting a new job. We'll see.
Right.
That's why I have done at least we've done 2 now double features.
So Mark, what was yours again? I kept forgetting. Yours was
Fury.
All right. Well, some of it is I like knowing ahead because it's cheaper for me to order it via Blu-ray than it is to actually get it streaming, which is the ridiculous part of it all.
Yeah, and then you own the physical media. So
yeah, so that's why sometimes I like to know a couple weeks in advance so I can just order these.
Well,
when I was thinking about when it came to my turn, I had 2 different movies stuck in my head. I had this one because, good God. Enemy at the Gate's also a good movie. But the other one I kind of had was Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, I've never watched it, even though I know how it ends and things. And that's fine.
I don't think Justin
I've seen it. I'm glad we didn't actually watch it.
Well, don't get me wrong. There's some great other movies out there. I'd love to watch The Beast. I would love to watch. It was really intended for every. There's All Is Quiet on the Eastern Front.
The Bridge Too Far.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket. Hell, even Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies.
I'd like to say at least one of the episodes from Band of the Brothers, the Battle of the Bulge, would have been good.
So there was that one. So now I'm going to ask the question so I can get ahead, so I can order if I need to. It's a lot easier to buy it for like $6. Is what are your Christmas picks?
Oh, I already got mine picked out.
Yeah, yours is Violent Night.
Mine is Violent Night.
That was the one with the guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Hopper.
Yeah.
I like the film theory that Hopper was in Predator. Predator, where Arnold's like, "Get to the Hopper."
That's just wrong, man.
Well, the good news is that Violent Night is at least on Amazon. So if you have a subscription there, for that helps. I'm going to do this much for me, and I know we're going to do another Scrooged one. We're going to do a Blackadder Christmas Carol.
Oh God, that's another one I haven't seen in a while.
Never seen it.
Oh, well, you might appreciate it, but I think that would also that, or could I include that one in the sci-fi one, because there is a spaceship at the end. But no,
Don't ruin it for me. Damn.
No. You'll have to see it to understand the whole thing. It's but no, the Blackadder Christmas Carol I think is great because it completely puts everything on its ear. So there's that. So we got Violent Night. Shadow, what was yours? Or Mark?
I have no idea.
Mark, do you have one?
I don't have one picked now yet. I'll try to think on it tonight, and I'll put it in the Discord chat when I think of it. But
we've never watched A Christmas Story, which is still one of my favorites. But I'm like, everyone's.
You're gonna shoot your eye out with that choice.
I'm not a huge fan.
Well, I love it with the ho as she pushes the kid's face down with the boot. But the problem is I've seen it so often.
Classic. The Lego lamp.
There's a Legoland Christmas?
A Lego lamp. A lamp.
The lamp that looks like a leg.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the Lego lamp.
Yeah.
Like if you buy it, it's leg-o-lamp.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Fragile, it must be foreign. I mean, they're great one lines, but to be fair, I've seen that so many times. I don't feel like.
Yeah, if I never see it again, I'll be okay. I watched it with Jackie last year, and it was kind of cringy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Scrooge wasn't.
that whole lamp scene was just like, she should have just walked out on her husband at that point. Like,
no, I mean she just have to deal with it, really. But I still love the triple dog dare, and the poor kid licks the. I mean, anyone that's lived up north understands these things. But the kids get stuck there. Well, especially Justin living up there.
I'm telling you this for sure. If you lick a lamppost, the heat of your tongue will prevent it from sticking.
Okay. Well, see, I know enough people.
I know this.
Okay.
All right, Justin. Do you want to pick one, or
I have to look around because
of course you have the option to pick one. If you show up more than 3 times to one of these, I'll let you pick a movie for whatever the next month. I do know that there will be several Godzilla movies I'm going to be picking for next year. Maybe a King Kong or 2.
Oh, you know what? I like I said, the best movie in 2021 was, Kong versus Godzilla. I got exactly what the title told me I would get. There was
Kong.
I wish Cocaine Bear was a sci-fi movie because the same thing. You got exactly what you need.
Yeah, but it was not as fun as I hoped it would be.
I mean, there are certain ones it's just like, okay, I got what I was expecting, but no, well, what is our requirement? It has to have for science fiction. Just make sure. I guess we have to include time travel in there. Ugh.
Predestination.
We're all watching aliens. It has to have aliens, spaceships, robots, or time travel for us to be considering it sci-fi.
What about blasters, laser guns, some ray guns?
If you have those, you better be having spaceships.
Wait. Is Five Nights at Freddy a sci-fi film? Because they have robots.
No.
No. That's more like Christine. Because
it's horror. It's just horror.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. By definition, you said robots.
Well, you know what though? I will say this much. I won't say this much because my son asked for it for Christmas because I was asking him. That was one of the movies he had on his list that he would like to have for Christmas. So if you make me do it, yes, I guess we could count it. But let's try getting stuff that we actually can make. Good RPG.
We got a year full of sci-fi that except for the holidays, which I don't know that many Christmas or Halloween. Well, no, I could think of a few Halloween sci-fis though.
We have the Star Wars Christmas special. If we have to,
that movie never
No, that's a
happened.
hard ban. That's a hard ban. You are kicked from the show, good sir. Connell has given me the wrench. You are gone permanently.
I said I know I watched it in '78, but I haven't watched it since, and that's probably enough for me.
You should,
anyway.
take penitence for watching it even back then.
Well, when you're 5, you have no real control.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Star Wars!
Seriously.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
how the hell were we supposed to know that it was going to suck ass?
Yeah,
You should have known.
you're supposed to just know your future self is supposed to go back in time and grab your 5-year-old self and said, "Don't watch it. Trust me. Don't watch it."
You will regret it for the next 70 years.
Does the Terminator movies count?
Yes.
Yes, because
Always.
but it has both time travel and a robot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would it not count?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just asking. I know what my first sci-fi movie is going to be. Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. It's got interdimensional space travel and whatever freaking thing they're calling Wildor.
Well, I mean, I know one of mine is going to be Dune. That's
The
one
new
of
one or the old one?
the new version.
Okay.
Because I know Shadow hasn't seen the new version, and I think that's more true to the book. It is more true to the book. I still enjoy it. Plus, the Dune 2's coming out eventually.
Oh yeah. I do have to say though, if any of you have a chance to get Apple TV, the Godzilla TV show they have on is actually kind of
Ooh. Well,
Shit.
Matey.
I have it.
Another source.
I have it, so I haven't watched it, but I forgot until we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
Kurt Russell and his son are both in the in the TV series.
Really, Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell and his son are playing the same character at two different times. Two different times.
Now, if you want to see, because this came up the first time I was on here, a bad Kurt Russell movie. It's called Crypto. Because you said Kurt Russell was never bad in anything. This is one case of a movie he was in that is terrible.
I didn't say that he was never anything bad. I just,
he's normally a good actor.
Someone did.
Well, I was thinking, if we're going to do it, we also have to be looking for October. What are our October stuff? Is the, we got The Thing, we've got Alien.
Yeah, you got Soldier.
Event Horizon's mine. I got denied last year. We will watch Event Horizon.
Yep, Event
Horizon.
Yeah.
I have no bones with that one. It's
I just for Shadow and mostly Jackie, I want someone to put on the list, being me. Predestination, starring Ethan Hawke. It's a time travel movie. There is some spaceships in it. It's not a main thread. And that there's got to be some sort of ray gun or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't think I've ever seen Predestination.
Yeah, and it's based on a Heinlein. I think a Heinlein short story.
No, I'm just saying I just haven't seen it. And to be fair, sometimes I've tried picking things that I think that Jackie should watch.
Yeah,
yeah. He should watch it, but I don't think he'll like it.
Well,
I do know. I do know later, probably on Thanksgiving, if not sooner, I will be watching Casablanca again.
Well, I have to laugh is because he's like, I didn't really like it, but I do.
I don't like the main actor. I mean, the main character annoys the ever living shit out of me, but it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else is out there for Christmas. Well, sometimes I want to make sure that there's certain ones out there for Christmas.
But for Christmas, sci-fi is just weird. I don't. There's movies you can watch that take place in the winter months, but they're not Christmas movies,
Yeah. Which I'm okay with that. Sometimes I'm semi-anti-Christmas, to be fair, and so is my mother. So
really, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
You know what it's not? The most wonderful time of the year is when you can go to the beach without freezing your butt off.
Yeah, well,
it's only the most time. It's the only most wonderful time of the year if you have family that you want to deal with.
I never had any.
Christmas movies that take place during Christmas, that Christmas is part of the story, and small creatures. Does that count?
I
Good.
think
We like
Gremlins?
Gremlins. We watched it
Gremlins.
already.
Oh,
yeah,
We
we
already
watched
did
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna look for the most Christian religious Christmas movie I can find, and you guys are all gonna sit and suffer.
I
Hey,
might
hey,
be
hey.
sick that day.
Wait
I'll
a minute. We did that in April last year. Well, this year.
Oh,
Which
I'll
was-
find something. I'll find something.
Which was it? Yeah, here you go. You know
No,
what?
I-
It's because
I-
because
I
you guys
actually-
hate Christmas so much, we're gonna make you watch more Christmas bad movies. No, I'm just
It's going to be a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could go. Oh.
Hey, wait a minute.
Fuck
Die
my
Hard.
life.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Let's not
Die
forget.
Hard is a
no,
Christmas
no, it
movie.
isn't.
It
It's
is
an action
absolutely
film.
both
It just
1
takes-
and 2. Number 2, especially, they have snow.
First one he's at Christmas party.
He is, yeah.
Well, his wife is.
Well, he is too, and he just has to sit in the back. No, that's why he came. He got invited.
I have nothing against Christmas altogether. I enjoy spending money on my child, but I don't need a holiday to let me spend money on my child. It's like St. Patrick's Day. I don't need one day a year to let
That's
me.
nothing to do with that. Just
Well,
because
yeah,
that's
it is. Here in America, it's all about what you're buying your kids.
Yeah.
So because that's what other people do, you're gonna let that fuck with you?
Yeah.
I don't. This is a conversation
This is
for
about
later
one
on.
thing, you know,
Yeah.
I don't like any holiday where I feel forced or obligated to give.
Get
people.
your children the traditional Christmas gift. Cool.
You know what though is here as I get older. I don't know about you guys, but when I was young, and I used to get like clothes. Like, I hate clothes. And now that I'm older, like, hey, mom, dad, can you get me some underwear and
socks?
some socks?
Socks.
I return socks. I
Is
return socks violently because I have over 200 of them, and I
Oh.
don't wear shit on my feet.
Oh, speaking of Hobbiton. No.
I mean, yes, it does have to a lot of people. Christmas has a lot of meetings, but I'm not going to really want to get into this on the show. Christmas. This is just
So just so everyone knows, when I was in Iraq in 2018, they made Christmas a national holiday for Iraq. And so whenever I hear anyone saying, well, why don't you care about them? I'm like, you understand, they made that a Christmas holiday in the Middle East on a majority Islamic country. So this whole idea that it's that it excludes them. I'm like, really? I'm like, no. And a lot of people just enjoy it. I understand, but I don't like the commercialization. I don't like a lot of the stuff. I don't have a lot of fond memories of it. And part of it has to do with the shortening of the days. There's a lot of different factors in it. So for me, the best time of the year is always in the summer or spring.
It's not like America has had the most glowing history with Christmas. It was outlawed for about 10 years.
Well, that was the whole reason of the stuff that we think of with Scrooge, the Christmas Carol, was because there was so much violence and drunkenness that he wanted to give a wholesome Christmas instead of, which is what we think of now, rather than what it actually was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Mac Thompson there. Bullets, yes, more bullets always works.
I could definitely go for some more arrow shafts.
Oh, I know. I'm like, look, my son loves it, and that's great, and that's why he spends Christmas with his mother. We spend New Year's together. Some of it is just I don't like all the because I do get
my
the
Christmas.
seasonal.
I don't know. I mean, you also what I did last year on Table Breakers for my Christmas special. Shell is never forgiven.
You're frozen, Connell.
So I'm going to bring up one thing which I thought was hilarious. And I wish I had done it, but I didn't. So when I was in when I was in Iraq, we weren't allowed to have alcohol, but we had a Secret Santa kind of thing. And so what I wanted to do was because they had a store and around the corner you could buy alcohol. I wanted to buy a big thing of alcohol, a big either wine or whatever, and slip it into the gifts. And then no one could accept it. Just so that So there'd be a lot of anger, like, what? Who bought this? We're not allowed to have this. They'd try passing it around and they couldn't. Yeah. So
When I was living in Tennessee, we would do this thing called Dirty Viking,
okay.
where everybody brought over a gift worth no more than like $25-$30 at the highest, right?
Right. Yeah.
And all the presents are put underneath the tree. Then there'd be a hat that everybody's name is thrown in. Then the first name gets to pick first. Well, the person next to them or somebody else, if you have like 10 people, works better. One of the other 9 people could go grab that present out of your hand saying, this is mine. You basically steal from each other.
Oh,
It was fun for what it is. I mean, everybody walked away from the party with getting something, but it was fun. I don't know. There for a while was alcohol. Then because of some of the new people, we took alcohol off of the list of things that were accepted, and we lost Mark.
Oh no.
Yeah, very sad. Poor Mark. I hope he's okay.
I just put something in private chat.
Actually,
about-
so,
all right.
yes, I broke the cycle. We don't have crappy food. We don't touch turkey. It's always steak all the time.
Yeah. No, I really wish Benjamin Franklin would have got his way and made the turkey the national bird, so we didn't have to eat the damn thing.
I actually like turducken.
Yeah.
Turducken is one of the better things I do.
Yeah, because there's duck in it.
Well, I love duck, and I love it, especially whenever you put in the crawfish stuffing inside of it. Oh, so good.
Ooh.
The rice and crawfish stuffing.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. But no, I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of it
yeah,
was
that's
is that it was stressful. It was always, and I never got sick when I was going to go to school. But as soon as we got like those long weekends, I'd always get sick like that. It was like, ah. So
I would get a migraine on Christmas. Growing up, when I moved back to the States, I would just get a migraine Christmas Eve because I would have to go deal with my family, and it was just it was a shit show.
Yeah. I have that problem. I just no socks. And whenever I'm in one of those Secret Santas, all the ones I've been in, they put a list, write down a few things you might be interested in. So the person that gets your name has an idea of what to buy for you.
well, I know the shadow goes for this, but it's not that my.
Well, I'd always put down beef jerky. Give me like $10 worth of beef jerky.
Well, so my son loves Christmas. To be fair, he likes the lights and everything else, and he's
Calls like beef jerky.
Oh, well, come on. You can't go wrong generally giving beef jerky. My view is you give women chocolates, you give men beef jerky. That's how you can tell if a woman loves you. Well, like my son, his mother finds stuff, and so she stuffs in like these giant bags of gummy bears and a few other things, and so he really likes it. I don't take it. That's why he stays with his mom, because she celebrates Christmas more than I do. I'd rather Christmas just be the pure religious aspect. But that was the other things. I enjoyed midnight mass, and my parents did not want to stay up that late. So it was always in the morning. Like,
Religiously, it makes no damn sense to me.
What was that?
Religiously, it makes no damn sense to me.
Which part?
The date.
Oh,
Not that he was born, just the date. The date makes no damn sense to me.
Oh yeah. Well, I prefer the nice feast with the family. Like to like stupid little trinkets or whatever.
Get drunk off grandma's eggnog. I get it.
Eggnog.
Well, but a lot of it also was stress. I don't like the stress of everything, as everyone's running around and stuff. Because when I want my days off, I want them to be as chill as possible. And all these people are moving around like, all you're doing is you're stressing me out. And the reason I want days off is to de-stress.
I am Catholic, and I've never once said I was a good Catholic.
But I've also asked much though. Is I did get invited for Thanksgiving, the surrogate grandparents for my son, and they said, "Well, bring a dessert." I'm like, well, everyone has pumpkin pie. We're bringing key lime pie because key lime pie is the best pie.
No, punkiness.
I love pumpkin. I do, but key lime.
No,
No,
You gotta make the pumpkin yourself though. You gotta buy the pumpkin and bake it in the oven.
Actually, I've had it. Here's the thing that gets me is I like a graham cracker crust, and Connell will appreciate this. The last time I made it is what I do is I put them in 4-ounce mason jars. I put a layer of graham cracker crust at the bottom. I fill it up with the filling all the way there, and then I screw the mason jars and I put them in a sous vide at 180 for about an hour or two, and then I take them out and then I make the hand whipped cream with a little bit of alcohol and vanilla. Vanilla. I went all out. But then when people are ready to actually have it, I pop the top. I bring out the blowtorch. I crisp up the top for that. And then I put the whipped cream on top. And they're great. They're like single servings. Everyone's happy with it.
Oh. And this is for your key lime?
No, that's for my pumpkin pie.
Oh.
So yeah, the pumpkin pie. Well, see, I don't like regular crust for pies. I want graham cracker crust. Well, graham cracker crust tends to burn if you're going to do it to actually cook the pumpkin. Well, I can cook the pumpkin in the sous vide. And the other part is because they're all sealed that if I want I can pop them in the freezer and let them stay there, and I can pop them out.
How do you make your pumpkin filling?
The pumpkin filling is, and this everywhere I've read is actually Libby's pumpkin filling is actually not the filling, the puree.
Oh no! You got to make it from scratch, man.
Look.
You can do that like a week in advance.
No. Well, they say that the Libby's puree is some of the best, and then what I do is I mix in all the spices and everything else, and that's what I do is I mix everything in, and it was a lot easier to cook. I didn't have to worry about it burning or anything else. And that's
what my favorite pie is for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'll eat it on both days. Coconut cream pie.
I don't like coconut though. That's my only.
If I could have like fresh, real pumpkin pie at least once a week, every week, like a whole fucking pie to myself.
Yep. Oh. Okay. well, you laugh at that, but his son's mother, when we were together, I used to bring a pie in the middle of summer. So we would have pumpkin pie probably once every 2 weeks during the summer. But yeah, I mean. Don't get me wrong. Is the problem I have is with most pumpkin pies is they don't put in all the spices because to me you have to have ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon. Yeah. And a lot of people cut back. They'll only like put 2 of those 4 or something like. It's not as good. But like I said, but the sous vide. The awesome thing about the sous vide is they're basically single serving, and you can freeze them in the freezer, and because they're sealed, they're good. So it's
Well, I know this one guy. Who makes pumpkin pie. Hold on, let me get this out really quick. Makes pumpkin pie, but I can't eat it because he throws cayenne pepper in it.
Yeah, I think I did cardamom pods one time. It went over really well. It's not that I don't do it.
Seriously, next time you make that, you need to put another video up on your YouTube channel. I want to see you make this because I learn recipes better from watching somebody do it. So,
are you talking to me or Connell?
No, you. I said Omano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Next time you do that, put another video up on your YouTube channel.
Oh, wait, what? If he gets the camera going and everything, I'll host on mine because he doesn't have his own channel, and we'll have cooking hour with Omen on the holidays.
He's gonna be like, I could just see Connell like. No, not that. No, I mean, to be fair, mine would probably be more of like the, grumpy old single man, farmsteading or something.
That's even funnier.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do this time? Well, guess what? Everything. Well, but like I said, the 4-ounce mason. Like I did 8-ounce mason jars one year, and no one could finish off one of them, even when they showed them with a couple. But the 4-ounce mason jars are just perfect. I like they're ready to clean up. You can just, if people want the pie, you just put it right in front of them, and they can have it at any time that they want. Like I said, when you get the blowtorch to the top, it gets that caramelized on it. The whipped cream, which the whipped cream is good. Yeah, I really do enjoy it, and I try different things. My son a lot of times will tell me I have to make a pumpkin pie, but this year he told me key lime. I said okay. And to be fair, the people inviting me already have a pumpkin pie. To me, there's nothing worse than having 6 pumpkin pies. When you have for like 12 people.
It just shows you get a whole pie.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to eat half a pie. That's what gets me.
Enough people will get sick and tired of pie that you'll get a whole one.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
the
that's
other one I really like? Oh, sweet potato pie.
Ooh.
I can make some time for a sweet potato pie.
sweet potato and pumpkin. Well, like when I was in Afghanistan, they had the pie, and I kept thinking it was pumpkin pie, and they finally looked at me like, it's sweet potato pie. I was like, oh, okay. That's why I gained 30 pounds.
It's like somebody was trying to tell me yams are American. I'm like, no, yams came out of Africa.
Africa, yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
We have a big thing with pumpkins in North America because that's the indigenous
yeah.
squash or whatever.
Oh, I like pumpkin
Yeah.
bread. I've seen some other stuff where they've done, like I like watching another YouTube channel which is Townsend's or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. He does a lot of Revolutionary War.
Yeah. Around the time frame 1800s.
Yeah.
the very
I
rustic.
would love to find a way to talk to that guy.
And
you guys
Max
have to
Miller
watch.
tasting.
Yeah, tasting history. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's another guy I'd love to spend some time with.
Keith Seats. I mean, those are, but it's interesting looking at how they do it, and but yeah, I mean, it's not that I like pumpkin pie. It's just the turkey, because every year my mother would cook the turkey to the recommended temperature, which always made it so overcooked.
Freaking dry.
And then she wouldn't she wouldn't go to the commissary or anything to get more food. So I would starve for 3 days, and I'm like, "There's nothing to eat." She's like, "There's turkey in there." I'm like,
Turkey should not be a war crime.
Actually, to be fair,
What's
I normally
worse,
don't like turkey.
overcooked?
There is a place here that smokes their turkey, and that is actually really good.
Mhm.
Smoked turkey is amazing, but at the end of the day, it's still fucking turkey.
This one is unusual in the fact that I actually like it. You're right, most. And turducken, I enjoy that because I like having all three. But man, with that
It's the
coffee
fat.
stuff,
You got to get that fat, right?
Yeah,
That's what you get from the duck.
Yeah.
Well, and the crawfish stuffing with it. That makes the next
you
level.
can always buy a brick of lard and just shove it in your turkey.
I mean, honestly, if you want to make turkey and it doesn't have to be a tabletop, ooh, look at this beautiful bird I make.
Yeah, cut it up.
Cook your turkey upside down. All the juices will stay in the breast. Make for a juicier turkey. Then cut it up and serve it.
This is my beef tallow that I collect. So
Yeah.
beef tallow is awesome for that.
When I was in my teens, I worked at a fish and chip shop, like 16, 17. And I get the tallow. I just steal a chunk of tallow. Christmas time. I was like, I'm gonna take this, okay? I was like, turkey time.
As much as I go to Shadow, I'm sure if turkey takes longer than 15 minutes in the microwave, he just refused to deal with it.
Yeah. Shadow's never seen a turkey. They evolved after he was an old man.
No. I mean, I would.
I make a wonderful turkey. The trick is basting it.
No, you're right. You're right.
I was expecting you to say the trick is to use a chicken.
I know. I'd rather have chicken. As a matter of fact, all I do for a turkey is I throw one stick of butter, and then I take a couple of oranges and I quarter them with the peel, shove them in there, keep basting it until it's ready. That's it. Cover with aluminum foil. Cover with aluminum foil when it starts to, get a little darkish on the top, and just, baby it. You gotta pay attention.
I also
and
like,
then when whatever's eaten that day, maybe the next day. Otherwise, you toss the whole fucking carcass.
Well, so the anti-chef.
Just buy some Cornish game hens. It'll do better.
That's what my parents do now.
We're doing baby back ribs.
Oh man, ribs are awesome.
I'm going over to Shadow's house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, ribs and
potato skins, deviled eggs,
and a turkey stuffed with ribs.
Green bean casserole, of course, and rolls and.
What is this bean you speak of? What animal does that come from?
Yes,
bean casserole. It's a tradition. Everybody loves it, and of course, scalloped apples.
Okay,
scalloped apples is good. I can get behind that one.
The other problem that I had when I was growing up as a kid is there were only a family of 3 of us, and the smallest turkeys tended to be 12 to 15 pounds. And so we were stuck with this turkey all the time. Like, no, it was, but I know some people love it, but man, I
can't stand dark meat. So once the white meat's gone, I'm done.
That's the thing. If you cut it up and cook the pieces to their intended temperatures,
I will take leftover turkey and I'll get some duck and a few other
I can't eat duck.
game animals, and I will make I'll make it either a hunter stew or a hunter's pie out of it. But when I was in boxing or swimming and I needed to cut weight, especially around the holidays, turkey, white meat turkey,
yeah.
Although the best turkey I've ever had, I don't know what they did, was Boston Market. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I think it's still around in some places.
Not around here, but
they rub the skin with cocaine.
They rub the skin with cocaine.
They rub the skin.
It's like puffer fish where you get that weird tingly feeling in your mouth. No,
but we did find an actual game shop yesterday that not only it's
yesterday the day before.
I found it Well, I actually found it a while ago, but I went and talked to the owner yesterday, and they've got a game hall and a really gorgeous, but it's tiny, game and toy and comic shop that Jackie and I are going to hopefully this week review. And if it's not too much trouble and getting there and stuff, we may frequent it pretty often.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear.
I'm about to have 7 starving teenagers enter my home for a game, and so I'm going to have to go in. Thanks. Yeah.
You know what? Some ground beef, some ramen noodles, and mashed potatoes. There you go.
No, it's pizza. So I'm going to need like 12 pizzas.
That's not expensive.
Yeah, but only 6 of them are for the game players, right? Shut up.
So,
2-3 slices, I'm good.
So, I know that in San Antonio, we went down there, and I know that Bruce had mentioned someplace. I wish I remember what it was called, but they have a game store, and they have big tables, and you can kind of order, kind of like the fast food in the back, and they'll bring it to your table as you ask for it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning on doing. If not at first, see how it takes off.
You should. You should find an out of business gym.
Because of the open space.
Because of the showers.
Oh,
that's awesome. With that, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. I may be back online later doing something. I don't know.
Okay. How's your traveler game going there, Shadow? You start, or is that the next year?
That's next year with Rick from 28 millimeter, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm sure Rick will be showing up, videos of that. I'm actually looking forward to it, but. Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, see you later.
It's 30 degrees, so take care, guys. Good seeing you all again, and happy holidays.
Yeah. Party on.
Well, and that's the other question. Are we going to be watching a movie next week?
Next Sunday?
Next Sunday. I have no problems with it because
it's far enough out where either the problem is I should be good. I'm going to say yes, even if we get 1 or 2 of you guys. I'd like 1, 2 of the guys.
Because Thanksgiving is in October, like a civilized country.
Well, I wish we could say that if Canada had been a real country,
Do I need to get Bear on here?
Wait. When did Canada become an independent country?
60 something? I don't know.
Okay, so that's what I mean. You guys just had to one up us by making sure it's earlier. You just want to make sure that it interrupted with a Halloween.
Even your guys' Veterans Day is different. I mean, that's fine. Different countries do different things.
Ours is 11.
No, it's still the 11th. The 11th is everywhere because that was the end of World War One.
November 11th.
Yeah, November 11th, the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month.
That's freaking convenient.
That was
it was staged.
Yeah, I'm just
but that's the agreement. So technically, Veterans Day applies to the Germans, the Russians. Well, I'm not sure if the Russians were still in the war at the time, but I don't think that they were. I think they dropped out. But yeah, that's why Veterans Day occurs for that. And each one's don't you guys celebrate with poppies or something, Justin?
Yeah, we do the poem. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit for that, but no, it's that's why I didn't want to just simply say limit it to just American.
Oh,
No, well, I'm gonna cut the stream off because I'm tired. Even though I went to bed early, I'm so freaking tired. Oh,
we're done talking about the topic, and I don't know how you could turn this into a role-playing game anyway.
Oh yeah, with MASH, I didn't expect to do very many of these. You can turn glory. Well, okay, I know how you turn Fury into a game, but it's not going to be an RP game. It would be Flames of War.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the way I would.
Well, you could do like a tank crew, and going across a battlefront or something like that.
That I mean, you could probably do it in Rifts. You could probably do it in BattleTech.
I know Glory would probably really well. I mean, you could probably, really fucked up way. You could probably run Glory through Savage Lands.
Yeah, I've never played Savage Lands, but I'm just saying. But for the setting wise, you could. Those are the two I'm thinking of.
For MASH, I can't think of any RPG.
Here's the point for the RPG though, is telling characters what is your plan to screw with certain people. So it's like, what is your practical joke that you're going to do every so many game sessions?
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's meant for more from that aspect more than, hey, we're going to do a whole campaign. It's more of like, hey, guys, what would you do to screw with whoever's bothering you? Because all too often RPGs kind of come down to, I'm going to kill so and so, rather than like, you know what, let me just screw with him. Like the bad harbor master. It's right. Like, what are we going to do to screw with the bad harbor master? And that could be one whole session. Just the
problem with that is you would get too many chefs in the kitchen.
Well, if you were writing it down and then sending it off to the game master, I'm screwing with this person next turn.
Yeah. I'm going to screw with this person next session. Like I said, especially in the sci-fi, which you always have that one harbor master or like something like that. Well, how do we do this? Well, we're going to do the investigation, figure out what's going on. We'll do this so we can figure out where to get him, and just little tiny things. It doesn't necessarily. Everyone wants to make it so you have to kill someone. No, it's a lot of times. Sometimes, especially if you're doing a dark game. Guess what? Sometimes have a little bit of levity just to break it apart. So it's not super.
I have no problem with role-playing games that have nothing to do with like murder or whatever.
Sure.
Or killing, right?
Well,
like, I have no problem playing games like that. It's just
okay. Everybody here, you're all doctors. All right, everybody here's doctors. We just had 5 doctors, 10 ambulance come in. I need everybody to roll your medicine checks.
Okay. I wouldn't do that so much. I think that's the problem of whenever we're looking at everyone's a doctor. No, it's like, guess what? Is especially if you have to. Well, there are 2 ways of looking at it. One is you're the medevac choppers. I need you guys to come grab people out. That's one, and you bring them over. And then number 2 is, there are things you can do with MASH units. If I have to get these people transported over there before they die, you can bring that frenetic aspect to it. That's part of it. The other part is, and I'll say this, everyone seems to forget, and you'll find this in like Jarhead and several others. There's a lot of downtime, and people try finding things to do, and they screw with each other, and that's never really represented in the RPGs. And so that's why I said one session. Just tell me what antics you guys are going to do, and we'll play that for that one session. Just
have you ever read the book series, The Black Company?
Yes,
I have not.
There are characters that are always effing with each other in that series.
I like Elmo.
Yeah.
Glenn Cook, right?
Yeah, Glenn Cook.
Yeah, I read it years ago back in college.
I just restarted it 2 weeks ago.
No, as well, yeah. Well,
Let me
what
do
are
a
you doing in
moment.
your downtime? I am going to make a steal. Okay. Well, time to play scavenger hunt because this is what you're going to need.
Mm.
Oh, good grief! Those things. It's like, okay, my character's going to do this. Okay, you didn't have to. Did anyone watch Community where they were trying to get Annie to get through all the paperwork to get things approved?
No, I never.
Oh.
I was going to watch it. Looked interesting until I saw Chevy Chase was in it. Then I just took a hard pass.
I actually enjoyed it. With Chevy Chase or not, I enjoyed that. The problem is that they get rid of the Drow episode.
Yeah.
Out of that, yeah, I
It was
haven't.
hilarious. It was hilarious. They even call him on it. They do this like, no, I'm not. It was, with Shirley. It was. I like the school shooting when they had the school shooting. He was told specifically, don't do a school shooting. So what he did is for people to get their, get first crack at all of the, for their, for all their classes. Like you get to pick first instead of, just
paintball.
Yeah, it was paintball inside of the school, and that's what he did as a school shooting. The lava one that they had.
Isn't Hillary Duff in that show?
I don't remember.
Maybe as a guest star. But...
Yeah, as a guest star.
Community for the first 4 seasons was really good. It really was hilarious. I think the 5th and 6th seasons, it just didn't have the same aspect to it.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I think Chevy Chase was good in was Fletcher.
I liked him in Fletcher. I liked him in Caddyshack.
I didn't really like Caddyshack.
I like Spies Like Us. Didn't that have Daniel?
Spies Like Us was good. I actually liked him in the Christmas National Lampoon's Christmas.
Yeah.
I was never an Lampoon's fan.
It was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. You know what though? And I saved you guys from this. I was thinking of doing mixed nuts for Christmas.
I
don't know it.
So I didn't know it either, but it has Steve Martin. It has what was her name? Madeline Kahn, Julia Louis-Dreyfus in there, and it's pretty dark because they had them as a suicide hotline. During Christmas, and they're being evicted.
Yeah, okay. I've actually seen this.
Okay,
I think Shadow would rage quit the show. We did that one.
Shadow, yeah.
I've only watched like half of it so far, and like it's not funny enough for me to say yes, I can recommend it. MASH, they have some really. I'm gonna laugh out loud for certain.
MASH is just one of those shows I think everybody to a certain age should see once.
Well, and I'm glad that we throw in comedy in these because man, they can get very dark and very.
Oh man! After watching Dog Soldiers and going right over to We Were Soldiers, I'm like, oh, I'm depressed.
I went the other way.
Well, that was part of the reason that I wanted to. That's why I did Scrooge with Blackadder, with the Blackadder Christmas Carol. Have you seen it, Justin?
No, not that I can recall.
And Blackadder's the most generous man in all of London, and he gets visited by ghosts. So,
okay.
It's a complete twist on it.
If there's a link for its availability somewhere, drop it in that chat. I'm gonna start doing that when I find things that are available.
Yeah, let's see.
That is always a good thing to do, I think.
I think that sometimes we need to have enough that are hilarious in there.
Because I almost didn't I gave an indecisive message for coming today because I wasn't able to get MASH until about noon.
Well,
I couldn't it just wasn't coming up anywhere for me. But I don't know all the good places to look that aren't.
Well, apparently there's archive.org that has it on there.
At the end of a pier.
Yeah, I know.
I lucked out. One of my buddies had it on his Plex. I
think this is it. I think this is where it has it on there. I assume it's in there, but I always like to put up the link so we can see it. Well, just like The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Mark is normally really good about dropping the link of where we could find it on Discord. With all this being said, I want everybody who's left in the chat, all in one person. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, some people don't.
Mhm.
And
I just
we'll
hope you all have a good next week.
Yes.
Yeah, generally.
Thanksgiving or otherwise.
Thanksgiving. And my normal response this week was don't go choking on a bone, but I'll be nice.
Yeah, choke on a bone, damn you.
With that being said, I hope everybody out there has a good week, and we'll see you next Sunday while we're reviewing Glory. Civil War movie. Really good cast. Morgan Freeman. Just really good cast. I can't think of everybody, but it has a really good cast in it. All right. As one Hungar the Barbarian would say, peace, love, and chicken grease.
Party on.
Yeah.